Hey everybody, it's time for another tech review. Haven't had really too much firearms related stuff in the last few weeks. I have some more coming up, I just gotta have time to sit down and record it. But today we have the new Dell Venue 11 Pro. This is the 7140 model. This is their newest replacement for the 7130 and 7139 model. Here's the box it comes in, pretty standard. It's got tape on each end you have to cut. Not too much different than the last box. It slides out. Dimensions on this new guy are 11.01 by 6.95 by 0.42 inches thick. It weighs 1 pound and 10 ounces. The 7130 MS that I previously reviewed was 11.72 by 6.96 by 0.48 inches thick, and it weighed 2 ounces more than this model does. The old model had a 36 watt-hour swappable battery. This unit has a 38 watt-hour 2-cell battery as standard. It is user serviceable, but it is no longer, you have to actually pop the cover off. There's the back end here. This is that rubber texturized coating with an embossed Dell logo. One of the biggest positives that I've noticed so far on using this machine is the battery life. This is actually a fanless model. This just has a giant copper heatsink, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But I let this thing do standby and minimal internet YouTube use over a period until I completely drained the battery, and I got 2 days and 16 hours, which is a lot better than the 7130. I think I got like 6 to 7 hours at the most out of that. The charger for this guy is the standard 24 watt charger. It's got the little poppable end cap on it that you can put a cord on. Flips out and up. Uses micro USB for charging. Chassis is pretty firm. It's got a little bit of flex to it when you flex on it, but it's not, you're not gonna do any damage to it. You got your standard Windows home button here that vibrates when you press it. You have to still hold the power button until it vibrates to turn it on. Now for some underhood specifications. The Dell Venue 7140 has the Intel M5Y10C processor at 800 megahertz with turbo boost up to 2 gigahertz. It's a dual core processor with 4 logical cores. Has Intel HD 5300 graphics. No discrete card available. Has 4 gigabytes of DDR3 low voltage soldered on. 8 gig models are available, but I couldn't find any configurations under what I had available to select 8 gigs. This has 128 gigabyte SSD. It's a SanDisk X110 M.2 form factor drive. 256 is available. Again, I think this model is new enough that my configurations don't show 256, but they do spec 256. You can upgrade the drives in these based on the M.2 form factor. This is an actual SSD. I'll throw the ASSSD benchmark that I ran on this a couple weeks ago in the description below. It's definitely a lot better than the original Latitude 10. Obviously it has a 1920 by 1080p IPS FHD touchscreen with 10-point touch. Has an Intel 7265 AC Wi-Fi card with Bluetooth 4.0 with NFC. As far as your outside peripherals, you have your front-facing 2 megapixel camera. You have your Windows home button right there. On the left hand side you have one USB 3.0, you have your micro HDMI, you have USB for charging. The previous model had mini HDMI, I've gone to micro now. Your left speaker, microphone, volume up and down, combo mic headphone jack. On the top, another mic, another microphone here as well. Here's your charge indicator light, your power sleep button. Here's your SD card slot for micro SD. The previous model had a paperclip pop-out tray. This is kind of like reminiscent of some of the old cell phones that have the little flap that you have to pull out. And there's your micro SD card slot, your right speaker, your Noble security lock. On the bottom, you have your magnet holes, your keyboard interface connectors, and your dock connector. And on the back, your 8 megapixel camera. I'll roll a couple quick pictures and video I took from the front and rear camera on the Venue. The camera takes pretty decent pictures, they're not the greatest. Video is about the same. One thing I did notice was the cameras, both front and rear, would turn off in very low light situations. Like when I took a ride the other day, I was messing with it in the car and it was dark, and it would turn off unless you were facing a light source. I took a Surface 3 downstairs and turned the lights off, and it had a very small light source in the corner, and it didn't turn off, so I'm not sure why it would do that. It must just be how they programmed it to work. So I don't know if that's a breaking point for some of you, but it's just a minor inconvenience for me. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Rear facing camera. So as you can see, this cover is one piece. There's no way to just pull the battery out, but the cover does come off. This little tiny screw that you see right here in the micro SD card slot, you will need to take that out to take the cover off. Once that's off, you can grab one of the corners. It's got the plastic clips that I never like, because once you take them off, they never clip back in 100% again. You're left with a little floppy cover, but it just pulls off like that. You've got a little copper heat sink tape on the back here. I imagine it helps draw heat away from the SSD and the cards here. The battery is serviceable, as I mentioned. You just take out these 6 screws and disconnect your electrical connector here. There's nothing underneath the battery besides different electrical connections. Unlike your Surface, you pretty much can take this entire thing apart and replace components inside of it. Here's your wireless card. Here's your M.2 SSD. And here's your giant copper heatsink with the CPU underneath of it. There were options listed for mobile broadband cards, but again, none of my configurations included any of them. I'm assuming these slots have something to do with it, because here's a screw standoff and this is just a piece of foam. One of the accessories that we did pick up for the tablet was the tablet Folio front and rear cover. The front weighs 4.1 ounces, the rear is 5.4 compared to 4.8 on the previous rear and 4.1 on the front. Obviously this won't fit the older models because the new tablet is smaller. This pretty much goes exactly like the original, where it just clips in to provide just an extra layer. All of your connections are still exposed. Camera's exposed. all the connections are easily reachable. You got your little NFC logo there. Slightly rubberized, still smooth. Would prefer it a little more texture so it's easier to grab. Front cover clips on just like, you know, your Surface keyboards, where it goes like that. You can fold this thing to prop the device up. It's mad at me because I drained the battery dead. Like the previous 7130 model tablet Folio, it's got the little thing here and a big negative. There's no magnets that hold this on like your iPad, so the cover just flops around. You put it on and it just doesn't stay. I mean, like, it's, if you hold it like this and put tension on it, it protects it. So it does do some job a little bit, but definitely think the iPad cover was a lot better thought out. Again, you can't use this with the dock because it covers up the dock connector. Let me just pull it off. Which leads us to the last accessory bought this time around, and that is the tablet dock. This is, as of now, the same exact model number as the previous Venue dock that I tested. Weighs 1 pound 13 ounces. As far as external connections go, it is headphone only, USB 3.0, DisplayPort, HDMI, Ethernet. Again, still 10100 Ethernet. The biggest downfall of this dock is 10100 Ethernet. Gigabit is definitely the standard now and has been for a while. I have no idea why the original Latitude 10 dock had gigabit, and then when they went to the Venues, they went to 10100. Don't understand it. Another USB 3.0, USB 3.0, and your charging port there. Charger's still exactly the same. It's got a neat little end on it that has a little LED when it's lit. Tablet sits in the dock just like that. Press down, fold back. It's sturdy. It's got good weight to it, so it's not going to go anywhere. I think, in my opinion, this is a lot easier to use than the Surface dock, where you got to clamp the two sides together. This one you can just put it in and take it off. All in all, compared to the previous 7130 Venue 11 that I tested, I definitely like this one a little better. I didn't get any freezing issues or hanging issues like I did with the previous model. There's something to do with an SSD on that one, and I've upgraded firmware on a couple of them, and I still get random freezing when you're doing something. I don't get any freezing. The battery life is the definite biggest plus of this thing, especially just leaving it idle. A full, Windows tablet, leaving it idle, getting 3 days of charge out of it before having to charge it. It's a definite plus in my book. Out of 10, I'd probably give this tablet a 7. I probably would have given it an 8 if the dock had gigabit. Still holding me back on that. It's definitely not as powerful as the Surface because this has a lower voltage processor in it for the battery life. But this has definitely come a long way since the Latitude 10, and I have no problems recommending this as a tablet to anybody. Thanks for watching.